Today I'm going to show you how we've grown a pumpkin plant on a trellis. And when we moved into this house about 3 years ago, it wasn't a huge backyard, but we wanted to grow as much as we can in the garden. I love growing pumpkins because we love eating pumpkin pies, we love eating pumpkin muffins, but there's not a whole lot of room to let just a giant plant sprawl, and pumpkins love to sprawl. So this year we decided that we would grow it up on a trellis, and it's just super cheap. This is like $5 at Canadian Tire or at your garden center, and we just hooked it up onto some of the hooks that they had left at the previous owners, and I just planted a pumpkin plant and started training it up the side, and up it went. So check this out. It's called a jumbo pink banana pumpkin, and it is huge. They grow to be 10 to 40 pounds. I don't know how much this one is, but I'm going to guess it's about 20 pounds, and that should make us enough pumpkins enough pumpkin pie for all winter long. What's really nice about growing it up the trellis is, like I said before, you don't have the plant sprawling all over your yard, but it also keeps the leaves from getting really damp. So a lot of times you'll see, and you see a little bit of it here, this powdery mildew. You'll see that you'll see a lot of that on most pumpkins that are growing on the ground. This one barely has any. You see there's quite a few holes. That's because we had a massive hailstorm in the middle of summer, but the holes happened, and then it just kept on trucking and kept on growing. So here you can see how the tendrils just grab right on to the netting, and it just grows up. Once you get the pumpkin plant started growing up, and all you have to do that is you just kind of start shoving the leaves into the netting, and then it just grows up itself. I didn't touch this plant once it started connecting to the netting, and it just grew up, and for the last 3 months or so I've just been watching it. I didn't weed around it. One of the advantages of a pumpkin plant is the leaves grow really big, so you can kind of ignore the weeds. It did grow in amongst all of our dill, so they kind of competed for space there, but it hasn't seemed to bother either of them. So down here you can see we have a bit of a vine growing on the ground. It's the same pumpkin plant. This is just a part that's trailing off. And we have a couple more pumpkins growing on the ground. They're a lot smaller than that other one, but we're going to see how they compare to the big one. And I really recommend you try growing squash plants, pumpkin plants up a trellis, because it saves a ton of room and it seems to be a lot healthier for the plant.